Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike. Today I'm going to be doing my November wrap up for you. And if you saw the thumbnail, there were 3 books in there. And I do have to say that I didn't finish all 3 of those books, so I'm gonna cut to the chase straight away. But I am sort of almost through with 2 books. And one, I just wanted to update you and give you my thoughts. So I'm gonna start off with the book that I did actually finish. And it's this monstrosity of a novel. So Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. You will have seen this in my most recent book haul that I picked this up because after reading the Twilight series more than a decade ago, and it sort of re-instigating my love for reading, because that's what this series definitely did. It showed me that I can read purely for entertainment purposes and that I don't always have to go for serious, heavy literary fiction and all that. Sometimes I can just read something brainless, entertaining, and apparently that's exactly what I needed to get back on the reading train. Because if you remember, I have been struggling a little bit, reading quite a bit, and then I ended up finishing this in 3 days. It's 750 pages. Like, who am I? And it's not that this is such a great book. It's not, but it just gave me exactly what I wanted and needed, apparently, which is just a really quick, easy, fast-paced read. We get, of course, Twilight from Edward's perspective, and I always wanted to know what the guy was even thinking. How was he even in love with Bella? And that's exactly what you get in here. It didn't feel as long-winded as I thought it was going to be. I remember feeling that Breaking Dawn was especially a drag for me when I read it. I've never reread it because of that. Of the entire Twilight series, the only books I've been able to reread is Twilight and Eclipse. New Moon and Breaking Dawn, just no. Just no. They were no fun the first time I read them, and I don't even want to go back to them. This one, however, because it's Twilight from Edward's perspective and we get some more background on him and on the Cullens and how they sort of live their lives, I thought it was like, it had some nice little tidbits trickled in there or sprinkled in there, I thought. So yeah, this just helped me to remember what Twilight did for me, and it's not this is the most outstanding book ever written, but it definitely got me out of my reading slump. So that is what I applaud this one for. I think I gave it like 2 or 3 stars, purely because it was entertaining. But the writing is still as bad as it was in the first Twilight. Like, it's still not really good. It's very dialogue driven, very sort of, well, of course it's still a first person narrative, but now we get Edward, who is a bit of a, if you thought he was bad in the movies and in the other books, seeing everything from his perspective is like, dude, you're making life so complicated for yourself. So, yeah, let's just say that Edward, I really don't get the appeal, but yeah, I thought this was a really fun one to read. Would I recommend everybody to go out and buy this and read this? By no means. Only if you feel that Twilight holds a more special place in your heart like it does for me, then you can go back to this. But this is really not an outstanding work of literature by any means. So enjoyable for sure, but I don't recommend this for everyone. And then a couple of books that I wanted to update you on because I'm close to finishing them, or I know I will be finishing them in the next couple of days. And that is my audiobook, first of all, which is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I heard lots of great things about this book from a lot of people on YouTube, and I have to say that I'm a little disappointed with it. And the reason why I'm disappointed so far is that I only have 3.5 hours left in the audiobook. So on a page, it's like probably like maybe the last 75 to 100 pages or so. And I feel that we're not getting enough. We're not getting enough of the mystery. We're getting hints, but we're not really getting an exciting detective novel, which is what I thought this was going to be. It sort of falls into that whole almost like dark academia kind of thing that everybody's going on about right now, where it's about a school, and it's a very special school where only you don't have to pay tuition if you go there, and only a select few people get to go. And the main character we're following, Stevie, gets in because she writes some sort of essay to get in, and what she wants is to figure out what happened at a night sometime in the 30s when a student from the school died or disappeared and nobody knows where she went. I don't think so. And then a woman and a girl, the lady of the house and the daughter of the house. So there's this big house, rich guy who founded this school and they live on the grounds, and they go missing. And that all happens in like the same night. And Stevie is adamant that she is sort of like this female Sherlock Holmes and that she's going to figure out what happened. But I only have 3.5 hours of a 10.5-hour audiobook left. And so far, Stevie has done no detective work. The only thing she's been talking about is how much she loves crime stories and how much she knows about the case, but there's no actual figuring out going on so far. We do get some like flashbacks to the nights like just before and the happening of the kidnapping and how everybody responded to it, so that's been enjoyable. But this is not giving me what I thought I was going to get, so hopefully the last 3.5 hours are going to drive it home. That's what I hope. Ouch, that hurt. I'll get to that in a minute. And then we're gonna go and see how it finishes. I have no clue yet. I hope it takes a turn for the better, but with YA I very often feel that once it kind of like just stays at the surface like this does, it usually never really makes good on its promises. A book that you've seen me talk about, I think in like 2 wrap-ups already, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm actually going to be DNFing this for now. I read the first 50 pages, which I read quite quickly, and I really enjoyed the writing of it. It's just, this is not the book I'm craving at the moment. And I feel that I shouldn't force myself to try and read this. I just need to get to all the fantasy books that I really, really still want to read. So I already know what my next read is going to be when I finish another book, and it's just not this one right now. I'm not in the mood for this. So that's why I'm going to skip it, which also means I haven't watched a Netflix movie yet, which I was actually, that was the plan, to read this book, watch the Netflix movie, but that hasn't happened yet. So I'll pause the Netflix movie for now as well and not watch it, because I hate watching things before I've read the novel, especially if I already own it. So yeah, I'm going to be not reading this for any time soon. I just want to get to all the fun fantasy stuff. That's just currently what I'm craving. And then last but not least, I wanted to update you on this behemoth. This is Troubled Blood by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. I did read more after I finished my vlog. However, and this is why I said ouch, that hurt, I had a bit of there's a reason why I didn't read more from this book. And it's twofold. First of all, I had a very, very busy week after I filmed that reading vlog. So I wasn't in any capacity at the end of the day to be reading anything, even though that was my initial plan, to like read 100 pages every day to finish it within a week. Didn't happen. And then the weekend after that week, I had just had a very nasty fall, and I don't know what happened exactly, but I kind of sprained some fingers in my hand. What happened was I was running to catch a train, and then I dropped forward, and I caught my weight mainly with my knees and my hands, and my ring finger on this hand kind of like bent backwards all the way like this. So it's been very painful to even hold a book like this. So yeah, I just had to go through recovery, and then what I do is watch Netflix. So I watched all of The Crown. I did do that. I finally caught up with season 4. I love a bit of drama, and the royal family is just exactly, it's just going to give you that. Their lives are just filled with drama, and it's a good source to spin a story around, because of course there's lots of other things that you can already find too about things that really happened. I especially like the episode about the guy who burgled into Buckingham Palace and then had a conversation with the Queen. I thought that was fun. That was a really well done episode, I thought. That was the standout episode for me. Not the ones with Diana, even though she was really good as Diana, I think. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, but that meant less reading. I did manage to read about 100 pages the other day, and so I'm now at the, where am I at? the 600 page mark out of a 927 page book. So that means I have, like, there are books that are just over 300 pages left. So I have another book left to read in this. And so far, I'm really, really liking it. In case you don't know anything about this series, this is the 5th book in the Cormoran Strike series by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling, who started writing detective novels, and they are excellent, excellent. This book is not without its controversy, A, because of the author, and B, because of a, perpetrator that dresses as a woman. And in the light of the controversy surrounding this author, it perhaps was a bit not the most helpful. However, I do feel, at least what I've read online, is that Rowling herself never called the perpetrator in the novel a transgender or a crossdresser or anything like that. It was actually done by someone who reviewed this book. So that connection was made, sort of started living its own life very quickly. So that's why I'm like, I'm not sure what happens in this particular novel. I can't say too much about it because it's a detective. I don't want to give away any spoilers. But in this book, Cormoran and his now partner, as in business partner, Robin, but they sort of have a thing for each other, and it's sort of like, will they, won't they? I love that element in the story too. I love Robin as a character, especially. She is the kind of female character that I love to read. So she's very headstrong, knows what she wants, but also has her doubts, and she's just really trying to live her life on her own terms. And she's going through divorce and all that, and together they are trying to solve a case of a woman who went missing 39 years ago, who was a doctor at a practice in London, in Clerkenwell, I think, around the same time that other women were reportedly missing and went missing and then were murdered by a notorious serial killer who is now in jail. And everybody always attributed her disappearance to him, but he's never owned up to actually having done it. And nobody's ever found her, so nobody knows. And the daughter of this doctor just wants closure and is like, I need this to be sorted out. And so they are going through this cold case, trying to find any leads that might still be there, and try and figure out what actually happened. So another 300 pages left. It's fast-paced. There are a couple of bits where I was like, a bit long-winded here and there for sure. There are some how should I call them? Like thoughts and paths that certain characters then take in their thinking that I'm like, do we really need to know this too? How is this helping the story, you know? There's a lot of character development going on in this one for sure. And I felt that also happened not in the book before this, but in the 3rd book in the series. It was also very much more about the character development rather than the case itself. And I feel that this one is sort of focused and on the case on the one hand, and the character development on the other. So this is trying to do a lot, which is why it's this big, I guess. So I really hope that something is going to happen between the two. They just seem really perfect for each other. So yeah, this is a book that I'm currently still very much enjoying, and I hope to be able to read it the weekend this video goes live and to finish it then. But that does mean that within the time span of a month, I will have read a 750-page book. Granted, not the best written book in the world, and this is 927. So in terms of how many pages I've read, by the time I finish this, I haven't read this much since July. So even though it's only 2 books, in terms of how many pages altogether, I think I'm doing pretty well. So that's why I did want to update you on this. And I will give you, so I did want to update you on Troubled Blood and my thoughts and how I'm doing with that. So I hope to finish it this month so that I can give you my full lowdown of what I think of the book, and once I know the ending and how I truly feel about everything, in my next wrap up, which will of course go up already in the new year. Oh no. Plus of course in January I'm going to have lots of videos about what my reading year in 2020 was like and all that jazz. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We are definitely going to be going over all of that. But I've got lots more content coming your way in the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed I managed to do this, but I hope to be able to film a bookshelf tour before the end of the year, where I go over all of these books behind me. That's going to be a day of filming, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's the plan. So thank you very much for watching this one for now. I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more. I make one video a week on this channel, so please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me, and see you next week. Bye-bye.